Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. You are tuned into the American Cream Show, and I am your host, Hyacinth Henderson. To my left, I got my main man, Tavaris, and the American Cream is a financial educational show where we show you, teach you, lead you, guide you on ways to redefine the American dream on your terms, not the traditional terms, very non-traditional, but this still works, right? So CREAM stands for credit, real estate, entrepreneurship, assets, and mindset. And T, what's up? How you feeling? Go ahead and do that intro.
Hey, once again, it's Saturday, everybody, and we back with the fire. We back with some gems. We back with some valuable information for you guys. As Heisey just said, I'm Tavaris Jones, licensed stockbroker, licensed life insurance and annuity broker as well. And like I say, we came to bring it to you. But before we get there,
I'm trying to start a watch party. Go ahead.
How you feeling? Well, you asked me first. I see you getting your phone together.
Tell me how I'm.
Yeah, this week I had a good week. Really productive. Got a lot done. In the office. Started a new workout regimen as well.
Oh, wait! Tell us about that.
Just a little push-ups and a little ab work. Cardio and stuff like that. At home stuff. Of course, trying to socially distance myself and as I start this 31st chapter. It's a new year for me. This is my new year for me. I don't really do the whole January 1st thing and stuff like that. When it comes to October 24th, that's my new year. That's when I set my goals. That's when I get my mind right for this upcoming year. And I'm really excited about that.
I'm sorry you hear it. I know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm not really sorry. Let me say I'm not sorry, but you know what? Let's get back into it.
Of course you are.
I'm not. Let me be honest. Okay, but you were saying you got a new year. It's a new 31st, so you got a new workout routine.
Yeah.
Because that's your new year.
Yeah. So that's new physical, new mental. All that is driven by consistency, and that's the goal. That's the goal. So we here.
Good, we here. Started from the bottom, now we here. Whole team here. I love that. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm feeling amazing. I'm feeling great. I worked from home all week. I got a lot done. I started back last week. I didn't really drink as many fresh juices, and I felt the difference. Child, my face started breaking out. Everything was going on, and so this week I was like, you know what? Let me go. And so I started back drinking more fresh juices, and I feel the difference. And it
you have a juicer at home, right?
Yeah, I have a juicer at home, and I juice all types of stuff. For those of you who juice or maybe considering juicing, put some sweet bell peppers in your juice, right? So I had never done that before. So if I'm making pineapple juice, I'll throw some yellow peppers in there. Yes, the yellow peppers that you cook with. And the vitamins and nutrients or whatever they say is good for you, but it doesn't alter the taste. And if I'm making carrot juice, I'll put orange peppers in. I'm a color, I try to lump things together. But I'm feeling great. So that has me feeling great. Like I said, I got a lot done. And today is one of my most favorite days of the year. It's Halloween. It's the Day of the Dead. It is turn up, and it happens to be a full moon today. The energy is on fire. We are entering a period where if you put in the work, everything that you want is going to come to fruition. You're going to see it manifest. And I love it. So tonight, I'm debating on I might slide out for a few, but deep on the inside, it's like highest and no. Stay home. Stay home in pure darkness. So I don't know. I'll let you know how that goes.
So if you head out to because I know it's a full moon and I know you take that seriously. Do you head out somewhere and do your full moon thing, or do you head out somewhere to celebrate the Halloween?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. Great question, Tavares. Yeah. You know me well. He's right. I take full moons very seriously. I'm I ain't out here in these streets. Well, someone's coming in town. A lady that I met online is coming in town. She's a solo traveler. I met her in a Black Travelers group. And she's in Miami. She's like, hey, let's link up. So she's supposed to be at the beach all day today. And if you're not from Miami and you come to Miami and you go to the beach all day, by the ending of the day, you tired. You've been doing nothing. So she is saying maybe we can go get something to eat later on tonight. I'm like, okay. So I'm keeping that possibility open.
Okay.
But no, I'm not going to anybody's Halloween party, any festivities. I'm going to do that. Give me something to eat real quick because y'all know I like to eat. That's why I have to juice and exercise because I love to eat. So I may slide real quick, get a fried lobster, and then I'm back in my space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
cool.
great question.
Cool.
Great question. So, yeah, let's get into it. So, really quickly, we got Lynn Vincent. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining us. Miss Ward, love the hair. You see me, Miss Ward. Thank you. I was feeling kind of fierce this morning. June, my girl June says, here for it. She's talking about the hair. That's that lioness mane coming through. Happy Saturday, y'all. Curtis Kegler, Precious. Yes, manifestation morning to you guys. Vibrations are up. They are way up, Precious. You are right about that. Tracy Tompkins, what's up? Good morning. DeLawrence Moore, yes. Oh, Miss Ward says she'll try that juice. You know, a new one I tried this week was pineapple. First of all, I put ginger and turmeric, the ginger root and the turmeric root in all my juices. So it don't matter what kind of juice it is. I'm putting ginger and turmeric in it.
That's the powder, the root?
No, the root. But if I make it a smoothie or a shake, which is different, then I'll put the powder in.
Okay.
Good. So I have ginger and turmeric powder as well, and so I'll put that in my smoothies or shakes.
Okay.
But for the juice, I put the actual root in. So I did pineapple, 1 whole pineapple, 2 large grapefruits, ginger root, turmeric root, orange peppers, and red peppers.
Okay.
Orange, yellow, and red peppers. Okay. And my son even drank it. He was like, "Oh, mommy, this is good," or whatever. Something like, and it was good. It was tasty, and it's filled with vitamin C and all those other antioxidants and things like that you need out here in these COVID streets. So yes, and to my ladies out here listening, throw some parsley in your juices and your shakes as well. It helps your feminine reproductive system. Make sure everything is Gucci down there. So parsley is another one that you can throw into your juices or shakes, and you don't really taste it. All right, and plus you're not eating for taste. I tell people all the time, if I was eating for taste, I'd be eating cake. Not like asparagus and juice. So let's get past that. All right, interesting. So Precious used the word manifestation, and you text me today and you said, Hycy, let's talk about, did you say Hycy or you said Hyacinth?
I definitely didn't say Hyacinth. I never ever call you that.
Okay.
Yeah, I never call you that.
Okay. You said, Hycy, let's talk about how most millennials want to retire early, but what are they doing to manifest that reality? And here comes Precious, like, manifestations are up this morning.
That's my girl, yeah.
Yes.
That's my girl.
So we are in alignment.
Yeah, definitely.
Pop up.
So, lots of times we get calls from millennials, right? All the time. Hey, 25 years old. I'm 27. I'm 35 years old. And I want to retire in the next 10 years. I want to retire before I'm 40. Right. And me being a millennial, I'm absolutely for that. Right. I'm with it 1,000%. But then my follow up question to that. OK, so, you know, how much are you saving on a regular basis? Because we all know if you want to retire by that time or that early age, we have to prepare for it. So, you know, how are you preparing for it? And I really don't get much details about that, you know. Well, I'm going to start this, or I'm going to start saving, or, you know, man, I had X amount of dollars in my savings account, but then that new car came out and I liked the car, or I went out with my friends last week, stuff like that. So, like I said, I love the mindset. I love the fact that we're not following our parents. You know, no disrespect to the older generation. You know, you guys paved the way for us. But at the same time, I love how millennials feel like they don't have to go down that exact path, you know. So, but we're here to provide some solutions.
Yeah, let's peel that back, though.
Yeah.
Let us peel that back. I love that you said that they don't want to do the same thing, basically.
Right.
They don't want to do what they've seen done.
Right.
And so I believe that millennials, I guess I'm the last group of millennials, right? So I was born in 1981.
You're like a cusp millennial.
No, I am a millennial. Don't be trying to put me over there with y'all young folks. Like, I can't deal with y'all. Okay. So 1981. But really and truly, when we say that we want to retire early, we're basically saying we ain't gonna be working forever. Ain't nobody working forever. And that's why I titled this show that, because when you look around in today's age, you ain't got to work forever.
Right.
You don't have to do what those that came before us did. And sometimes those that came before us, they are so stuck in their ways that they look at that as a disrespect. Like, what do you mean? You're crazy. You got to do this. That's just not how it works. And millennials in the younger generation, even, what is your generation called?
I'm a millennial.
You a millennial? You still a millennial? I don't think so.
Born in 89.
I don't know. Somebody dropped the years in the comment in the chat, because I don't know. I just know that them real young ones, Ain't for me. But we've seen that. We've seen what our parents did, what our forefathers did, what our grandmas and aunties, and we're like, we don't want to do that.
No, not at all.
We don't want to do that.
And that's dope. That's a super dope mindset,
Yeah.
right? To see something or to know what you want, right? Because a lot of times in life, sometimes we don't know what we want. And then if you don't know what you want, that's easier for someone else to lead you and to tell you and to feed you or to make you think what you should want, right? So it's good to know where you want to go. But if you want to drive from Miami to New York, you know you got to put gas in your car, and you know you got to have gas money. You know you got to have money to eat. You would be an absolute fool to drive that far and don't prepare for it, right? Okay. So retirement is the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing, but
so I see where you're going. You're like, all right, we're cool. We understand why you don't want to do that, but what you going to do about it?
Right.
I see from the circle that I am in, and it all depends. I tell y'all every week, you got to get you some new friends. You got to lose some old habits. You got to get into a new circle. From the circle that I am in, one of the members of the circle that I am in shared, because I'm in a group. I pay for coaching. Like I pay for business coaching. I pay. That's another thing. You got to pay to play.
Right.
If you want to advance, you got to pay from the people who have gone before you and demonstrated.
Right.
So in one of these groups that I am in, in 10 months he made $1.8 million. $1.8 million.
So he is social proof. So he has some type of proof that whatever he's doing is working. He got 1.8 million proofs
in COVID year.
Yeah.
When when some people are like, woe is me, how will we gonna do? Oh my God. Oh, somebody save us.
Wow. What does he do?
Coaching, sharing what he knows, digital business. Don't have no brick and mortar business at all. Teaching, educating, all of that.
Okay.
$1.8 million. So when we get those phone calls, I recognize that people are saying, well, on one hand, I know that I don't want to work forever, but I also need to get with the money people. So I can understand that. I can understand. I'm like, okay, y'all calling our office, but let's figure out how we're going to do it. So I believe that when they call, first of all, we need to do a mindset check. Yeah. Is your mindset in the space that tells you that you understand that if you want to bring in $1.8 million in 10 months, or if you don't want to work forever, if you want to retire earlier, you are going to have to do something different.
Is the tongue in your mouth aligned with the tongue on your feet? Absolutely.
So that's the first thing. When you say, I want to retire early, I'm not going to be working forever. Okay, cool. We all for that. It could be a reality. But where your mind at? How is your mind? And then I had a follow-up call with a client that I have been working with for years, and they're a great couple. Love them so much. I'm not going to say their name here, but I had a follow-up call with them this week, and things that we had started working on 3 years ago, like I've actually watched their process come to fruition. And she says, oh my gosh, I'm doing great. I'm making over 6 figures being paid. And then my side business, I'm making XYZ, a week, bringing in $1,000 a week plus over 6 figures. And I was like, okay. She said, but I'm burning both ends of the candle. And I let her finish, and I said, we all are. Like when you see anybody that's excelling, like when you see people excelling and you deem them as successful, I want you to understand that we are burning both ends of the candle.
Now when you say burning both ends of the candle, you mean they are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into whatever they're cultivating.
You're putting in work. Yeah.
Right. So it ain't nothing falling out the sky, basically.
No.
That right there is a part of desire, right? That really shows if you really want it. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to give? Because the thing is, to receive something, you got to give first, right? For the car, going back to that car analogy, for the car to go, you got to give it gas. You know what I'm saying? For your breath to smell good, you got to brush your teeth first. You know what I'm saying? And that's with everything in life, even with money. For you to receive it, you got to give something, right? And that sometimes it's hard. You're gonna have late nights and early mornings.
You can't do what you're used to doing. If you want to retire early and you don't want to be like the people who still working and they ain't retired early, then you cannot feel like, okay, well, I'm only going to work on my business or whatever it is that I'm working on from 9 to 5. Right. Because if you continuously do that, then you're not going to be able to retire early.
You're limiting your effort that you put into the business, and in return, you're limiting your return as well.
Yeah, you are.
You're limiting your return. Yeah. You're limiting what you can make because you're like, well, I'm going to put a cap on how much I'm gonna do today, how much side hustle I'm gonna do today. So if you putting a cap on it, you directly you putting a cap on how much money you can make, or you actually delaying how fast you can blossom that side business. So it's important for us to really think out and pay attention to our everyday actions. You know what I'm saying? Very important.
Yeah. So it's the mindset shift. So when someone comes to me and says, I want to retire early, I ain't working till I'm 50 years old, I want to be done with this, then you recognize that they're coming to you from with a different mindset. That's a new thought. That's not a traditional thought.
Definitely.
Right? So I'm like, great, you're in the right space. American Cream, that's what we on. Right? So that's a new thought. But then let's continuously take it to the next step. Now you need to carry that new mindset and those new thoughts in your daily actions. As Tavaris says, your tongue and your mouth has to align with the tongue in your shoes. So you can't just be sitting back working somebody 9 to 5 saying, oh, I want to retire early. You kind of like got to get out of your own way with that. So I think that is fantastic. I don't believe that you have to just save all your money and do things traditionally. As y'all know, I'm very non-traditional to be able to retire early. I think it is a reality. I believe it's a reality. I believe that people need to be more supportive. Like, you may not have retired early. That may not have been your reality, but something that can benefit the people that are around you, whether they're your children, your grandchildren, or whoever they are, or whoever is listening, is be supportive.
Support is good. Support is really good.
Support is, I think, it's amazing. You sound like there's a but under there.
I think keeping it real is more important.
Okay.
Right. So support is good. I ain't knocking that, but you want to keep it real with that individual as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if somebody's telling you that they want to retire early, and well, I guess that's where we come in at, right? We're keeping it real with that individual. Like, hey, man, well, you're not doing enough to get to that point. However, I can help you with X, Y, Z, A, B, C. So I guess it's a mix of the two, support and.
Yeah, because my support, the support that I'm talking about, and I'm glad that you said that, is my support. The people who support me and the support that I seek is rooted in keeping it real. It's rooted in honesty and integrity. They are not different. They are not separate. I don't need you to support me and gas me on some foolishness.
Right. Okay.
You know what I mean? So yes, support me with your honesty and your integrity, but be open-minded as well.
Right.
And so what I'm really saying is, a lot of times if people have not done things for themselves, when you come to them, they can't even fathom it. So they're going to immediately start bringing you back down to normal people behavior. Like, oh no, why you thinking like that? Well, you know you gotta put money in your 401k. You started your own business. How much you putting in your 401k? You ain't even got no IRA. Like, and you like, hold up, wait a minute, what? So, and it's okay. It's okay if you recognize that your job is not to be the convincer. So then you don't go and you convince them. Well, no. You just like, okay, well, I see who I'm around.
It's time to find an exit.
It's time. Get your behind up from that table.
Yeah.
Get up from the table, and then you start minimizing the conversations and the interactions, because it is vitally important that you are around people who are on the same road as you. If me telling you somebody made $1.8 million in 10 months, you ain't know that existed before today. So you telling somebody you want to bring in $5,000 a week in your business, they looking at you like you're crazy, because they probably don't even bring in $5,000 a month.
Environment is really essential, right?
Yeah.
You can't plant a seed on concrete, you know. So it's important for you to plant yourself and submerge yourself around good soil, so you can blossom and so you can flourish like that beautiful flower in the garden. You know what I'm saying? So getting around that good energy, for one, getting around that good information, you know, for two, getting around like-minded people. Like, I want hustlers, you know what I'm saying? People that really want to go get it. You know, you don't want to be around a bunch of people that just want, but not really, you know, they're not burning both ends of their candle. You know, they're not grinding like that. So, yeah, I think that's important.
It's very important. It's essential. It's essential. This is your message to start that business, to follow your dreams, figure out what it is that you're good at, to do it, and you're gonna make you some money. Like, but you got to work hard. You can't be out here fricking and fracking. Like, you really have to, and not work hard. I don't like the word hard. You have to be consistent. So you have to be working every single day, and then you can do that. But the biggest thing is mindset. I believe in mindset. If y'all can't tell by now, everything that I believe in starts with your mind. When you shift your mindset and shift the words and things like that, then you'll have a different outcome. So before you realize your goals and your dreams, you're going to have to really become a new person. You're going to have to have a new mindset. All right, so let's get into some of the side hustles or new businesses. That we don't have to call them side hustles, things that have popped off during 2020. Because 2020, I had a conversation with someone earlier this week, and a few weeks ago, I think I may have said this last night, but a few weeks ago, we were talking about just the conversations and the people that you hang around during, or been hanging around during pandemic. And I told her, I said, everybody ain't broke. Like you have got to realize that everybody ain't broke. Stop being around people who are having those conversations. Get your behind off the phone. Don't go to the brunch, the lunch, the dinner. Get out of the group chat. Everybody's not broke. There are people who are thriving, not surviving in this pandemic. So she's like, you know what? Okay. So she started thinking about how her neighbor just, redid all this work, brought 2 new, like all these different things. So she called me and she said, you know what? We had an emergency earlier this week and it cost us $10,000. And she said, for a split second, I was like, wait a minute. I don't have the 10,000. Oh my God, we're in a pandemic. Why now? She said, and she instantly shifted her mindset and was like, all right, we got to do what we got to do. And within 48 hours, she made the $10,000 back plus some.
There you go.
Plus some.
Completely untraditional.
Completely.
She's not working a 9 to 5 doing that.
No.
And there's nothing wrong with a 9 to 5, right? But at the same time, it's all in your mind. You can work a 9 to 5, but you can have an entrepreneur mindset where you got your own 9 to 5 and a 5 to 9. So you got a 9 to 5 with your employer, but when you go home, you your own 5 to 9. You working on yourself from 5 p.m. to 9 a.m.
And even so, even being an entrepreneur, your mindset is what's going to drive your business. Because as I said, I don't want you to miss that. If she hadn't had that mindset shift, oh my gosh, we can't afford this right now. How are we going to do this? And she would have fallen down the rabbit hole of soaking, limiting beliefs, putting up all types of blocks to manifest what she needs. But instead, she instantly switched and had the mindset of manifestation, the mindset of it's going to get done. We're going to make it happen. And she made the money back in 48 hours. And she was so ecstatic. I'm like, yes, you got to shift. You have to shift. And here's something, because I know some of y'all out there like, dang, I don't want to leave my family and my friends behind. Hyacinth is always talking about changing my circles and blah, blah, blah. I don't want to do that. Okay, you'll be back. Right? It may not be forever. Some connections you may have to disconnect from forever, ever. You don't know right now. But some of them be like, I'll be right back. It may not be forever, because I got to get up from this table so that I can go and water the seed, nurture the seed, do what I'm called to do everything that I'm supposed to do. I got to get up and stop playing with y'all right now so that I could do this. And when it's up and set and running, then I'm gonna be able to come back to you and be like, hey, you good? All right, good. I got a seat over here for you. Like, I got something for you. Oh, let me show you how to do this. Oh, now you ready to level up? I've done that. So let me show you how to do that. So don't always feel like the disconnection is a dead end. So sometimes the disconnection is temporary, but it absolutely must be done. If you are still doing the same thing that you were doing 6 months ago, if you're still doing the same thing that you were doing at the start of 2020, you are hustling backwards. It doesn't matter if you're self-employed, if you're gainfully employed, if somebody paying you, if you got a sugar daddy. If everything is still the same the way it was 10 months ago, you sleep. And this is your wake-up call. It is time for you to say, okay, let me get up. Let me do something different, because time is passing me by. Things are changing all around us.
And to go back to the friend situation, right? Now, you may not even have to go back to your friends after you make it, right? Because once you take that first step and things start to working for you, if your friend got any good sense, they're going to start taking steps in that direction as well. And you may not have to go back to find them, right? They'll be right on your heels and like, hey, man, I'm moving right there with you. You're not going to leave me. I'm right on your heels. We're going to grow together. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's kind of the relationship myself and my friends have. We have a friendly competition on life, right? Friendly competition on evolving. You know what I'm saying? And we share certain things with each other. We don't force each other to make moves, but we share and drop gems here and there with one another. And as we share that information with each other, we grow together. You know what I'm saying? And it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Definitely. If they see you, and that's how you know you're in a good friend circle. They like, T, I see you leveling up. Let me level up too. Let me figure out what I'm gonna do. Everybody not like that though.
Yeah.
Let's keep it real. Yeah. Let's keep it all the way 100. Everybody is not like that. And you got to recognize that. So if I recognize that you're not like, oh, I want to get up and go too because you're getting up and going, excuse yourself. Don't try to force people. I have started a group chat called Elevation or something like that. I'm posting like books and this and they want to talk about foolishness. All right, I'm out. I'm out. And really, sometimes let's talk about that, because sometimes we will be so bent on trying to pull everybody up with us that we'll stay stuck.
Nah.
So like Tavaris said, if your friends inspire you and motivate you, then let's go. We could go together. But if they don't, you got to still keep it moving. You have to keep it moving and understand that even when times change, everybody can't come back. only certain people are going to come back. Because if I have grown, if we've disconnected for a certain period of time and I've been consistently growing and elevating and you have been stagnant, it's no longer a connection.
You guys don't speak the same language anymore.
Absolutely not.
You guys don't eat in the same restaurants. You don't eat the same foods anymore. You might be juicing. They may be,
still eating hog mugs.
Yeah, there you go.
Still eating pork rinds.
Yeah, so it's important, man. It's important when you level up. Like I said, you don't have to force nobody. And not only that, you don't have to be scared to go to that next arena or that next level, because it may be friends right there waiting on you. They had to leave their friends behind. You follow me? So they're in the same bubble as you, looking for other people to share their ideas with. You know what I'm saying? Looking for new people to surround themselves with and have, dope conversations with. So sometimes you can't be scared to leave, and you can't put too much energy into your friends, because grinding and your business take energy as it is. So if you put you putting the energy in the wrong place, basically, and you got to be mindful of that. You follow me?
You dropped the whole gym when you said don't be scared because it's a whole new set of friends waiting on you.
Yeah,
that's me. Like, I'm a witness. I bore witness to that in 2020. Like, I had a whole new set of friends and we have a fantastic time. Shout out to my girl Diana George and Dee Bowden. Listen, I met Dee on the internet. I met Diana one time in St. Louis. The way these ladies have added value to my life and since March has been mind-blowing. So I'm like, nah, I'm not going back. Like, you calling me and you want to be angry, you texting me, why would I talk to you? Why would I be angry? I got happy friends over here, and plus we all are focused on leveling up. Like, why would I do that? Keep your anger. You have a great day though. You do that, and so that's golden though. Don't feel like you're gonna be lonely. It's not lonely at the top. Trust and believe, it is not lonely at the top. It's a whole new set of people at the top waiting for you. All right, so let's get into I know you pull some businesses or side hustles or gigs or whatever you want to call them, whatever word floats your boat, that have been taken off and people are out here smashing it in 2020. And we're sharing these with you because we want you to open your mind. Some of these things you may have already thought about, but you was like, nah, everybody doing that. That ain't gonna work. Child, please, it's almost 8 billion people on the planet.
Right.
Almost 8 billion people. So when we share these with you, we want you to take notice, young, old, in between. And for those of you who are, because I know who my target audience is, my brother, shout out to Robert Henderson III. He called me one day. He was like, yeah, you and T show is good and everything, but I prefer Dad's show because your show is not really my audience. Okay, 42.
Shout out to Rob. Shout out to Rob. What's up, Rob? We still love you, man.
We still love you. I was like,
love for you.
I took it to the chest. I was like, okay, 42. Thank you for letting me know. He said, yeah, it's for a younger generation. Okay, so for those of you who are not in the younger generation and still connect, I want you to know that age is not a determining factor on you realizing and accomplishing your dreams. Let me say that again. Age is not a determining factor. It doesn't matter how old you are. You can still listen to this information, put the action behind it, and change your life right now.
Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s.
Wow.
In his 60s.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I want to share that, and don't think, oh, that's a young people thing. That's a limited mindset. That's why we always talk about mindset. Like, okay, I'm hearing this, they doing it, I could do it too. Yes, you may have to align with some people who are well versed in some of this stuff, but you can do it. And especially if you got money, I'm like, listen, if you got money, you don't really have no problems. 95% of your problems can be solved by writing a check. What does that mean when you're talking about business and entrepreneurship and things like that? You got to pay to play. Pay for a coach, pay for programs, and then put your time in. Don't sit there beating your head on the computer monitor or computer keyboard. I don't know how to do this. I didn't learn this when I was young. Okay, we know that, but you got you some coins.
There you go.
Put them coins to work. We call that a business investment. Right? That's really how you use. I'm going to invest in this coach. I'm going to invest in this course. I'm going to actually do the work. I'm going to tell my daughter I can't keep Tink and Tito. I ain't keeping the grandkids this weekend because I'm starting my own business and I'm taking this course. And you do that and then level up, and the universe, God, source, whatever you want to believe in, will send you your tribe to carry you along. All right, let's get into this list.
Yeah, so before we start the list, right? Now, we know that there were millions of people that were laid off or lost their job during this whole pandemic, right? But when you strong, right, you don't become a victim of circumstance, right? And things don't happen to you, they happen for you, right? So though all those people lost their jobs, do you know over 880,000 new businesses were started since the pandemic in the U.S. alone? 880,000. Not 80,000, not 100,000, 880. That's almost 1 million new businesses, right? And that was just the last time I checked. Now, you got people making good money in real estate, right? Not so much the buying and holding for, because of course, you got people that can't pay their rent right now. So when I say real estate, most are real estate agents, because there's lots of people that want to relocate. They want to change from a condo to a home. They want a yard. They want more space. So lots of real estate agents are making good money right now. You also have YouTube and social media, which is great.
Is
right?
this on the list? You want on the list?
Yeah.
Oh, because you said before you, okay.
Oh, I was just talking about the victim of circumstance.
You got me like out here. This is the list, folks.
So we're going to get right into it. So you got real estate, you got YouTube and social media. We got drone videography, right? So we got people that are recording for home sales, for video sales, all kind of pictures and everything for drone videography. We got virtual assisting. We got private chefs. We got graphic design, because when you start a new business, people want a logo and all that good stuff. So you got that. You got we even got people that are using their car to advertise for other companies. And you can do that in your regular life. And those are just quite a few, right? And I want to give you guys a gem, right? A gem. So we know. I'll wait to automation so we talk about the next topic.
Go ahead, go into it, because we might. I got a lot of stuff in my mind. We might be all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I might be all over the place. You be pretty structured. I'll be like here, there, everywhere. So
I want to know.
Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
I do, but it'll flow better with automation.
Okay, so let's go back. Turn your paper back over. So let me look at the list. Okay, so listen. He just gave you some things that are on the list. As you're thinking about this, I don't want you to be like, yeah, I could do this, I could do that, I could do that. Let's start here. What are you good at? Mm-hmm. What are you good at? What do you like to do? And what do people always come to you and ask you about? Mm-hmm. Let's start there. So if you're starting a YouTube channel, right, you have to think about, what am I good at? What do I enjoy doing? What do people need? What do they always say that I do well? Like, you have to, before you pick a business, or a side gig or whatever you want to call it, you have to think about how you fit into this space. Mm-hmm. Because remember, you're going to be working. You're going to be working a lot. Especially in the beginning, you're going to be up. Your bedtime is no longer 6 o'clock. You're not hanging out. You're not going to brunch every week anymore. Mm-hmm. You're going to be working. So you have to make sure it's something that you like to do and something that you're good at. And so while I'm talking about something that you're good at, most times people don't realize that what you're good at is very difficult for other people. Mm. What you're good at, what you're knowledgeable at, can be very difficult for other people, and we oftentimes take that for granted. It comes so easy to us. Mm-hmm. But we're like, wait a minute, think about it. Let me just think about this. I'm trying to think about something that, a service where people come to me and I pay for this service, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. Mm-hmm. I had to have the sink changed in my house. I had to have the not the whole sink, but the little faucet thing. It kept wiggling and blah 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 and things like that. And I called someone, and he came out. And he immediately, he was the second person that I called, because the first person that I called, I'm not going to get into that, but the first person that I called came out and called himself fixing it, and it wasn't fixed. Mm-hmm. But the second person, he was so good at his craft, he knew immediately. He looked at it, he wiggled it, he was like, oh, okay, you're missing this, and he changed it immediately. That was a load off of me. Now, if he really wanted to right now, he is exchanging time for dollars while he is fixing my faucet. The faucet is in from the sink, right? The sink is the bottom part. The faucet is what. While he was fixing my faucet, he ain't making no more money. Let me say that again. While he's in my house fixing my faucet, he's only making the money that I am paying him. If he said, you know what? I'm listening to the American Cream Show. They say a YouTube channel, and I know these kids be on YouTube showing toys and eating and stuff like that. I don't really eat like that. But if he thought about it and said, you know what, people pay me all the time to come in and do a quick fix to their faucet. What if I got on YouTube and started a YouTube channel and documented this process and said, faucet wiggling, you think you need caulking? No, this is what you need. How many hits will he get?
There you go. And he's killing two birds with one stone.
Okay.
Killing two birds with one stone.
Yes.
Getting the money from you, and he also, working on that side hustle.
From you. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so it can be, and I shared that example with you because oftentimes we like wreck our brains and like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. If you have a 9-to-5 job, if you have a 9-to-5 job and they're paying you, especially if you are being paid well or over 6 figures, they are paying you because they know that you solve a problem. you have to realize, wait a minute, they see the value in me. They see I'm worth $100,000. How can I take the same talent that they're paying me $100,000 for and monetize it for myself? That is a gem right there. How can I take the same talent and monetize it for myself? You always have to be thinking, okay, I'm good at this. It comes easy to me. How can I flip it 2 and 3 times?
So
how can I slice the pizza?
So it sounds like you saying with the plumbing situation and the person that with the high salary, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, basically. You just got to add another wheel to the wheel that you already have.
If you got a pizza pie you already eating, how you going to slice this thing down a little bit more?
Right. Okay, I like that. That's really convenient, and that's the easiest way to do it. Basically, you kind of just gotta think a little bit, be a little creative to say, okay, how can I spin this to do the same thing and make more money? Basically, I like that.
There is, for my educators who are listening, there's a website, outschool.com. I didn't know this existed. outschool.com. I was on Instagram. I buy a lot. I support a lot of people on Instagram. I realized that. But I was on Instagram and this lady posted something about a class she was teaching. It was about African history. And anyway, the link to her bio sent me to outschool.com. This website is a place where educators, and by educators, they say you don't have to be a teacher. You just have to know how to teach something. They teach classes, and they tell you the best time to hold the class is during lunch or after school. And I think maybe before school, no, maybe during lunch and after school, or lunchtime and after school. So you'll see the class times are offered 2 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock. But what happens is they realize that parents are home with their kids, virtual schooling, and the kids have some breaks and they want them to learn other things, non-traditional subjects. And so on outschool.com, if you know something and you can put it together and teach it, you can become a teacher. And that's another. So all my educators out there, you know what the kids are struggling in, especially the kids in our community. You know what we need help with. Why you don't teach a class on OutSchool? The class that I signed my son up for is once a week for 6 weeks, and it was $90.
So we're talking about creating courses then.
Creating courses, very simple. And all it is you have a choice. This class is going to be live. So it's going to be live on Zoom. And I think it's like 60 minutes. So the kids are already doing Zoom, 60 minutes, and you teaching something that may come naturally to you, to an audience. And it's review based, so you can read the reviews and things like that. So there are a million ways for you to figure out, okay, where I am now. Hyacinth told me if I take a look and see where I was 10 months ago, if I'm in the same space, it don't make no sense for me to be complaining. It don't make no sense for y'all to be waiting for a new president to help you out. Like, we're not doing that no more. We are taking matters into our own hands and figuring out what we can do. So I gave you an example of how the guy who fixed my faucet could monetize that. He created a YouTube channel. Once he gets the hits and things like that, people are going, YouTube is going to pay him. And then if he wants to take it a step further, once he goes down that rabbit hole, he'll get a new set of friends. He'll go into a new environment. He'll learn how to create an ebook, an e-course, things like that. And people are like, you know what? I want to download this book for $5. I've seen the video. It's very simple, but maybe the video was a teaser. And if I download this book for $5, it'll go into more details. It's 5 pages. I could do this. And next thing you know, I've changed the faucet on my own. So you have to be thinking about this. I realize that entrepreneurship can be intimidating, especially if you weren't raised and having these conversations, because a lot of times we were raised like, what you gonna do? You got to go to college, get you a degree, work at the county, get them benefits, be a doctor or a lawyer. Nobody was like, yes, you're gonna sit down and be an entrepreneur. So sometimes it's scary. Sometimes it's scary, but you got to break that thing down. Even, did you say t-shirt printing?
I probably did. It's on my list. I don't know.
T-shirt printing, very lucrative business. Very lucrative business. People love wearing t-shirts, and the stuff that come to your head and that come out of your mouth, put it on a shirt. Put it on a shirt. Somebody else is having that same exact thought, and they're going to see that and be like, oh my God, what? What? Oh, let me buy that. Real life example. I used to do mentoring at a nonprofit maybe like 2 years ago, and these were like high school students. Maybe they were out of high school, maybe like young adults, but one of them, I had a call with him during this pandemic. He was like, Hyacinth, I took all the advice that you gave us, and I cleaned up my credit. I did XYZ. I started a brand. And I'm like, what do you mean you started a brand? He said, I started a brand. I'm selling shirts and apparel, and it's been very lucrative. I'm making more money doing that than at my day job. I'm like, all you gotta do is make sure the tongue in your mouth is in line with the tongue in your shoes.
There you go.
and put the action in, and you're good. So we're sharing this because we want you to wake up and realize ain't nobody working forever no more. Ain't nobody working forever. If you don't want to work forever, that can be your reality. And I touched on the presidential election real quick. What I want to say about that, we're going to get into that, or you want to go into automation?
We can go into automation real quick.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, and when we get into these side hustles and entrepreneurship, it's really important, you know what I'm saying? And also speaking on early retirement is really important, because if you go to your local supermarket, right, Publix and Walmart, they have the self-checkout where you just scan your items and put them in the bag with less cashiers, you know. Then what else they got in the stores? They got even Walmart, right? I just read that Walmart is going to have a robot now cleaning the floors. And also, while it's cleaning the floor, it's going to be simultaneously checking the shelves for inventory. You know, so whatever they have to order, it's going to be logging it and sending them a report so they'll know what they need to order. And it's going to be cleaning the floors at one time. So that's two different jobs. Two jobs that they'll be eliminating along with the cashiers, right? So it's important for us to beat technology, if that makes sense, right? You wanna think ahead of the game. If technology is advancing and growing, you know, is your job at risk? You know, is your place of employment at risk? And if so, how are you going to transition out of that? You know, you don't want to sit back and complain because you can't stop it. And if they say, if you can't beat them, then join them. So you got to think ahead of the game. You know, even with the CDLs, it's a lot of guys, especially guys that come home from prison. The first thing they want to do is get the CDLs. And that was all good once upon a time, but they got autonomous driving now. Tesla's coming out with 18 wheelers. Last year, they had a truck, an 18-wheeler, run from Florida to California on its own. From Florida to California, and they're just testing it. So I don't want you guys to get so gun-ho and just stuck in what it is you do now. You got to pay attention to the world and what's going on so you can pivot and make beneficial moves for yourself and your future, right? Speaking of Tesla, we know Tesla makes electric vehicles, right? Most vehicles right now they run on gas or diesel or whatever the case may be. And of course, they got to go to the gas station to fuel them. So think ahead of the game. I'm going to give you guys a gem, right? How about investing in an electrical charging service station, electrical charging service station, right? So if you purchase those little vehicle charging stations and have people just, you know, if they come in, they run out of energy or whatever the case may be, they can plug up your machine to add energy to their car and pay you while doing it. Pay you for doing it. And you just get a few of those over time. Right? That's thinking long term. That's thinking futures, right? That's a gem for you guys. You know what I'm saying? We can't do the homework for you, but I did want to just pass that to you. And that's something for you to look into to see, you know, how you can get started in that if that's something that you're interested in. Right?
Because it's coming.
It's definitely
coming. You don't want to look up, 2 or 3 years down the line and say, dang, these charging stations are everywhere. Tavaris did say that on October 31st, 2020. He did say that. I should have listened to him. Nah, bro, it's too late. Yeah. It's too late then. I love that you bring up the automation and the self-checkouts and stuff like that in the stores, because a lot of times when we see that, we just look at, oh, wow, I could just go check out by myself. We don't realize that was somebody's job. That was somebody's job. That was somebody's job. And so once you start to process things that way, you got to pay attention to what's going on around you. If you yourself don't have a skill, you got to get you a skill. And those of you who have children in your life, I am always talking about your children, your grandchildren, your godchildren, because they are the future. It's selfish if you only focus on yourself. So those of us who have children in our lives, we got to start thinking about, what are we encouraging them to do? We still encouraging them to play sports. You got to be the best football player you could be. Or are we encouraging to take up programming, computer science, STEM, robotics? Are we encouraging them to do those things, since we know that, at least for now, humans are the ones that are programming these machines? Yes. So if humans are the ones that are programming these machines, and we know that we're going towards automation, what are you encouraging the people around you, or even yourself? Even if you have a college kid right now, what do you do? How's that conversation going? You know, so I want you to pay attention to that. The other day I shared that I went to Home Depot to make a key, and I made a key by myself. I was like, wait a minute, hold up, it's a 22. Like, this is awesome. I made the entire key by myself, down to selecting the type of key that I want. it was dope. I was just like, okay, I hope the people who are working here and not far off from the key machine, there was a group of like 4 Home Depot employees sitting around talking and laughing. And in my mind, I was like, y'all gonna be out of a job pretty soon.
Yeah.
You're going to be out of a job. Instead of you sitting around laughing, you need to be trying to learn everything you can learn so that you can move from floor employee to higher up. And then get the knowledge that you can get so that you can take it elsewhere. Tracy says, great business services, window installer, AC guy, plumbing, etc. If you own property, you need all of these. I agree. Great business services. And I want you to think bigger. Take it a step further. You can teach somebody this. You can teach someone this. Here's something else. What's the name of this site where I went on to get the painter when the first painter that I hired that tried to charge me an astronomical price and then took my money and then told me his toes was hurting, so he couldn't come back the next day. What's the name of this website? Oh gosh, I have to think about it. It's gonna come to me.
You told me, but
Thumbtack.
Okay.
Thumbtack. So so after he took my money and child said his toes was hurting and he couldn't come back and finish the job, and so my house he had half painted. So I was just supposed to be living like that with stuff everywhere. And he called me 3 weeks later. But anyway, I had gone on Thumbtack and I put in a search. If you don't know what Thumbtack is, download that app. I put in a search for painter. And I quickly realized the painter that I hired wasn't really the painter. He was the broker. He had me send him pictures of what needed to be painted. He asked me the colors. He did all this, and he sent somebody completely different to my house. The man didn't speak not a lick of English, no speaking of English. However, he painted so good, and I was like, "Oh, I need something else done." And you got to type it in your phone and show it Google Translate. Can you come back and do this? And he told me the guy may not send him back. It depends. So if you are in the service business, a window installer, AC guy, plumbing, blah, 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 a way to maximize your efforts is to be a broker. Like, people need this work, and people who claim they don't have no work. Okay. Y'all know that I put in ACs. Y'all know that I put in windows. I'm putting the window right here, but I could send somebody else to put in this window. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Like, you have to think beyond. You got to think beyond exchanging your time for dollars, because you're going to get tired of that. You don't want to be exchanging your time for dollars forever. You want to figure out how you can say, okay, people know me for this, or I have built a reputation for this, or I am building a reputation for this. However, I am well connected and I can bring somebody else in who know how to do this, but he's sitting at home. He ain't really working. I'm going to tell him, I'm going to pay you $10. They're going to pay me $20 and it's all good.
So that's what broker is, basically. You kind of like the middleman. You got a relationship with all these people. And then you also have a relationship with the people that need the service, so you got people that can do the service and people that need the service. And you kind of just, okay, they holler at you to get something done, and you just send somebody out, you charge a premium, and you take yours off the top, and then you pay your guy, and then you just keep the ball going,
Yeah.
Excellent.
Excellent. Another thing, you sitting around here with all these muscles, you in the gym, you doing all this on Thumbtack. I needed to have my bed moved. I got a new bed from upstairs to downstairs. Generally, Tavaris and Antonio does that type of work. My bed and my dresser, right? But the furniture is very heavy, and I was like, don't do that to them. They might scrape up the walls and everything. This is a bit much.
That was a great decision. That was a great decision.
They had told me, though. They was like, yeah, we got you. We got you. And I asked them, but I kind of, on the inside, I felt bad. I was like, I'm going to have them out here doing this. I paid them in food. So they came prepared. And I was like, nah, I hired some people from Thumbtack to come do it. And I think they did it for like $40 or $50 or something like that. They moved it. You can make you some money. That is the point. I paid somebody $40-$50 to come move some furniture from upstairs to downstairs and put it on the side for bulk pickup, so that my brothers here wouldn't have to do it, and the person there got that cash money. Cash money. So look on, I need some water. Look on Thumbtack if you are not familiar with it.
And you can become a broker, and that, like I said, that was a really good way. And that's just one avenue. It's several different avenues out there that we don't even know about. So we just, like I said, we're giving you guys a push, giving you guys a head start. So that way, right after the show, you can just jump on the internet and just go crazy, looking up different ways to do things, because it's out here. It's out here. Just like you don't want to spend your time to make money, there's so many other people out here that don't want to do the same thing. So, and there's several different avenues and ways to get that done. So I encourage you guys to just dive deep, and only when you dive in and when you searching on the internet, look for things that are going to make you money long term. You know, don't just look for something that for right now, that'll be good for right now, that can be, you know, obsolete in a year or two. You want to think long term, so that way you can build it with time and growing it with time, and that way you can make money long term.
You have to. And when you said that in 2020, a lot of people lost their jobs and a lot of people got laid off, and you're not trying to take anything away from that. Yes, you're right. A lot of people did lose their jobs and get laid off. A lot of people lost their jobs and got laid off from jobs that they hated. They was complaining every day.
Right.
You was complaining, going to work every single day. Oh my God, I'm sick of these people. Now you don't got to worry about that no more. Yeah. We don't need you. You're gone. Right. So let's start there, and then let's think about the fact that just because you got laid off from that job and you're still alive, that means you still have the opportunity to do more.
You got a fighting chance still.
You still have an opportunity. If you ain't get laid off from that job and then go to heaven, then you still out here. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, that was the end of that chapter. No sense in you crying over that chapter. Mm-hmm. No sense you saying, oh my God, I really love that chapter. I loved it so much. I'm sorry for talking trash about it. The parking sucked, but I loved it. No, don't do that. Turn the page. Get yourself up, turn the page, and keep it moving. And not to be insensitive, but this is just reality. Ain't nothing good coming to you when you moping around. Like, nobody want to hear that. They may want to hear to get the tea, but after they get the tea and figure out what's going on, they like, dang, she's still talking about that? She's still talking about that same job?
It's like losing a relationship. You know, and while you was in that relationship, you complained about the spouse, if she ain't want to clean up, and she ain't want to do this, and she ain't want to do that, or he ain't want to travel, or he ain't want to do this, right? And then after it's over, it's like you want it back now. You know what I'm saying? But does that really make sense? You got to ask yourself, does it really make sense? And then it's hard for you to find another spouse or have another spouse find you if you mad and depressed and walking around wearing your emotions on your face about your past relationship. You got to fix yourself up, right? Brighten your thoughts. Clear your mind so you can move forward and you can grow as you move forward.
Yeah.
Same difference.
Yeah, absolutely. It made me think about dang, I lost train of thought. I had done went. I was sitting here and off in la la land that quick.
It happens.
Oh yes, the power of your thoughts. So listen, check it, right? So as we're talking about what we're thinking and what we're saying, we gave the example of your job and maybe being in a relationship, always complaining. Then as soon as the person leaves, you're like, oh my gosh, really? You don't miss the person. If you think about it, you miss that feeling. Mm-hmm. You miss posting selfies and ussies on Instagram. You miss having somebody pay your bills. You miss all those things, right? But that's a story from a different day. You were complaining, now it's gone. So Wednesday, me and Antonio went out to do our morning bike ride. And I hadn't been on the bike for maybe it was Thursday. I'm not sure what day it was. Wednesday. I hadn't been on my bike for like 12 days because I was traveling, and then it was raining and I wasn't riding in the rain. I was just like, I'm not going to do this. So we went out bike riding. And so, yes, it was Wednesday because we had rode 26, almost maybe 28 miles on Tuesday and no rest day. And then Wednesday we got right back into it because I wanted to have my 2 days of bike riding. Mm-hmm. As soon as I got on the bike, my thighs were burning. I'm like, oh my gosh. So we riding, and I'm trying to get the momentum. We ride. And in my mind, I'm like, we said we was going to do 30 miles. I'm not going to be able to do these 30 miles. And my mom, like, I'm going to have to tell him. I don't know when I'm going to tell him, but I'm going to tell him we're going to do 20. Hey, say, bro, let's stop at 20. Right? So this is what I'm thinking. I never said anything. I thought that in the meantime, I'm just talking to myself. It's a beautiful day. You're protected. You're connected. Like, I'll be doing all type of affirmations while I'm riding, right? Okay. So I'm doing this, but every now and again, we ain't doing this 30. We are not doing this whole 30. I don't know when I'm going to say it. It will pop back up. Lo and behold, I get into a groove. I love riding towards the Hard Rock. When we get on that strip towards the Guitar Hotel and you can see the big Guitar Hotel and the lights, it just makes me come alive. And so all of a sudden I start really riding. So I'm in my groove and I'm riding. And all of a sudden I hear, Hyacinth. And I'm like, what? I got a flat tire. I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. Wait, so I look down, 9 point something miles.
9 point something miles into the ride?
Almost 10 miles. So remember, I had said, I don't want to do this 30. We're going to have to do 20. So I'm like, I looked down immediately. I thought, okay, he going to fix the flat because y'all know they got the whole kit. The fix the flat kit. Mm-hmm. He's going to fix the flat and then we're going to bust down this other 10 going back, right? I'm only sharing that with you all to realize how the power of your thoughts work. How the power of your thoughts work. And most times people will, it'll go over your heads. You'll say something and not really realize the impact that you have in bringing it to reality. And you'll be sitting there like, why am I here? Why he left me? Well, you told him he wasn't nothing anyway. You told him you could find a better man. You said all these things. Why am I not with this job? You were thinking all these things. You were saying all these things, and it manifested that quick, because when you speak it, you will see it. You may not connect the dots, but when you speak it, you will see it. The beauty comes in when you realize, oh shoot, when I speak it, I'm gonna see it. So let me start speaking what I really want to see.
There you go.
Then it becomes a complete game changer, 1000%. When I was in DC 2 weeks ago, when I booked the hotel, so I like fine dining and I like nice hotels, room with the view, right? I love a good suite, even though most of the times just be me. So I booked the hotel and I was like, I'm online, and the little voice is like, Hyacinth, treat yourself. You ain't been in a hotel in a minute. Just get the baller suite, right? And another voice like, Hyacinth, stop it. Don't do that. This ain't the time for that right now. So I listened to the other voice and I was like, okay, I didn't do it. So I just booked a nice room. The hotel was very nice. And when I got to the hotel, I checked in Friday. Anyway, long story short, Saturday morning, I called down and I expressed that there was something with my room. And I was going to say, well, and as soon as I said, well, the guy was like, don't worry about it, Miss Henderson. I'm going to move you to a new room. He said, how long are you here for? I said, 2 more nights. He said, I'm going to move you to a new room. I said, you sure? He said, yes. And I'll even bring up the key so that you don't have to come back downstairs. I said, okay. All right, cool. So I put on my stuff real quick, get together. Why did he move me to the baller suite in the hotel? I didn't have to pay for it. To the baller suite that I was looking at, I was like, oh, I really want to stay in this suite. I really want to be here. He moved me to the baller suite in the hotel. I didn't have to pay. And then I tried to tip him because I'm like, it's a pandemic. People will appreciate. I tried. He was like, no, I'm good. Don't tip me. Child, I almost did a backflip. It's like I could keep my coins and see what I spoke into existence. So you have to really be mindful of the things that you say, of the conversations that you have, of what you're thinking, because it will come to reality. Just like with the hotel, just like with us riding the bike. We ended up catching the Uber back home. We ended up, so all I got was 9 miles. So now when I get on my bike on Monday, I'm going to be like, okay, I'm excited about these 30 miles. I'm going to do these 30 miles. We're going to get it in and we're going to do it. So I want you to take this information in everything that you do.
The power of the tongue, the power of the mind. Both of those stories, the duality of self, the two people inside of you, because everybody have those two selves. It's going to be, you got the negative voice on this side, you got the positive voice on this side. So you got to make sure that you're listening to that correct voice, that voice that's going to lead you to do what's beneficial for you, right? And what makes sense for you, right? So it's so many different keys. So I know we are primarily a financial channel and a financial firm and stuff like that. But if you think about it, the mind leads all actions. The mind leads when they come to your finances, when they come to your relationships, when they come to how you feel about yourself. The mind leads everything, and that's like the core. So get your core together first before you can, get your money together. Get your core together first. You know what I'm saying? That's super, super, super important. Before you go dating, get your core together and get your 10,000, and then you can start dating. And then
you said in the 10,000.
Yeah,
in the 10,000. But really, that's the M in mindset and cream mindset. It's everything. It is the difference between you thinking you can and can't and doing it, or it's the difference between can and can't.
Yeah.
Really, the mindset. And so again, you got to shut down them conversations.
Yeah,
if you shut down these conversations with yourself, then you definitely can't let somebody come in and poison conversation. So now I'm like, I see what vibration I'm on. I'm like, all right, I'm going to do another weekend getaway. I booked another nice hotel. I'm like, when I check in, I know they upgraded me. I already know they're upgrading me. I believe it. I'm going to come back and report to y'all how that went. And it just is what it is. I have that expectation. So I'm going to keep my coins in my pocket and get the upgrade, because when I speak it, then I will see it. So yes, you don't have to work forever. But you do have to put in a lot of work now, and you got to stretch and think beyond, because if you're saying I want to retire early, that's already non-traditional thinking. And if you are going to engage in non-traditional thinking with the desire for a non-traditional result, you're going to have to take non-traditional actions. You're going to have to take non-traditional actions. You can't take extra regular actions with big results, with big dreams. You just can't do that. So I want you guys to get that and get it good and be empowered. This is about empowerment. The E in cream can be about entrepreneurship and empowerment as well. Because really and truly, as I said before, you need support. Don't let nobody tell you you don't need support. When that support hits, it's a completely different game. Take it from someone who has been very introverted and done a lot by myself in private. When I started getting support, I was like, oh, this is a whole nother level. I just up leveled. I didn't even realize this was possible.
It's kind of like when a football team have home field advantage.
Mm-hmm.
They got all their fans in the stadium.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So you got all this. You got 30,000 fans in the stadium, right? So, and that's 30,000 different support systems. You know what I'm saying? Rooting for that team, want y'all to push through. You know, booing the other team. You follow me? So support is so essential, and that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. Same with baseball. Same with basketball. So you got to be your own. You got to be your own football team, right? And surround yourself with people that's gonna wear your jersey. Mm-hmm. You follow me? And man, watch that thing work for you.
But you gotta have a talent.
Oh yeah,
because ain't nobody coming to see you playing and you like fumbling the ball. Yeah. You don't know how to catch the ball, like all these things. Like, right? Ain't nobody doing that. Mm-hmm. So what that means is you have to do your job. You have to play your part first, and then everything else is going to open up. It's going to open up for you. We're almost at the hour mark. I know Henderson and James T are coming up soon. Really quickly, I wanted to touch on, I feel like the fact that younger people don't want to work forever, and younger people aren't as interested. Not everybody. So the ones who are interested in the election, I'm not talking to you. Mm-hmm. I'm talking to those who aren't. And there's a whole gang of us, right? I feel like it is rooted in the same thing, which is, listen, we want something different. Mm-hmm. It's rooted in, we want something different. We don't know how we see what y'all been doing. Y'all been electing presidents for the past however many years, and it ain't really been working. Y'all angry when one is in office, you're angry when the other is in office. And then you are encouraging us and attempting to motivate us based off of fear and anger. Vote or die. Vote or else, or things like that. So I wanted to just say, if you know someone, and if you know someone who's like, I'm not really into politics, I'm not really into voting, try a different method. Don't encourage them, don't attempt to encourage them to be into politics or into voting with fear or with threats. Like people die for you to vote. That ain't gonna work. We want to know why. Mm-hmm. We want to know how our vote counts, what it affects, and things like that. We want to know the mechanics of it. And so if we don't know, then we're just thinking you want us to put your president in office, and we're unaware of the fact that the president that we put in office affects the Senate and affects the Supreme Court, which is huge, right? I went to sleep in high school. I don't have no shame in telling you. I went to sleep in high school. Like, listen, I didn't make straight A's until 12th grade year. And then I don't remember a lot of that. So I'm not going to get up here and tell you that I understand all this stuff, but if you want to have a conversation with people and you really want them to get into politics, have a conversation and understand that a conversation does not mean conflict. So if I come to you and be like, I don't really see the need in voting. What? You don't see the need in voting? What do you mean? They tie for your right to vote. Okay, big angry. Let me get up out of here. Like, have the conversation. Well, let me explain this to you. I understand why you may feel that way. You're entitled to, but are you open to having a conversation? Yes, I'm open to having a conversation. Educate. So we're going to educate each other so that we can empower each other, so that in the next 4 years, we still not getting on social media being angry and bullying people to vote.
And that'd be good for the older generation too, because a lot of times I'm finding out that they don't even really know. They kind of just do it because it's kind of like a rhythm. They're in the rhythm to do it. You know what I'm saying? And they were forced to do it. So they just try to force others to do it. And when you have a conversation with somebody, you got to bring the facts. You get what I'm saying? You got to bring the why behind it. You can't just bring the emotion. You follow me? So that'll be a good learning experience for the older generation as well, for the older and the younger. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, just have 100%. A conversation. That's it. 100%.
You're absolutely right. And that's why I said it ties into working forever. I gotta wait till I'm 60 to retire. Why? Oh, because this is just the way we do it. Why? Like, let's figure out a different way to do it. Let's have a conversation. And I really, really wanted to say that and bring that to the table. I know my dad is down there watching. Yes, I early voted. I told the people, keep your sticker. Don't touch me. I don't want your sticker, but I voted, right? I did vote. Why did I early vote? I voted because my dad and my daughter were going to ask me, did I vote? I'm going to be 100% transparent. And if I would have told them to no, oh my gosh, it would have been hell to pay. Like this election, it would have been hell to pay. But in the next 4 years, I want to be educated. I don't want to be manipulated to vote. And there are many people who are out there who feel the same way. So open up yourself to having the conversation and educating, so that, like I tell you, once we educate, then we can elevate. If we're not educated, we can't elevate. And then you wonder why you like beating people in the head. I told them to vote. I seen somebody post today and said that in Miami-Dade County, in the black communities, there are no lines to vote. And I said, I'm not surprised. Everywhere else is reporting long lines, hour waits. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised. I put up a post on this very Facebook a few days ago, and I asked this one simple question. Do you know how much money circulates in the streets when a Republican is in office? Do you know it's almost 150, maybe 170 comments, with the 99% of them with people arguing about parties? People arguing about, you got to be stupid if you vote for this. I'm this, I'm that. Listen, I asked you one simple question so that we can then say, no, I didn't know, or yes, I know. Now let's have a conversation. Because let me tell you, we want to sit behind our desk and sit in our high rise and use big words about that we learn in political science class or whatever the case may be. But the people in the streets ain't checking for none of that. They're checking for the fact that, like I said, they're riding around in Lambos with 5 racks on the passenger side seat. Because when Republicans are in office, money reigns. They're not looking at the fact that this is temporary. They're not looking at the fact that if one of your homeboys get picked up or somebody get knocked, them laws that they put in place is going to railroad them. They're not looking at that. And we have to have these conversations, but we got to get outside of ego and, oh, you Democrat and Republic, and get down to the real issue. Because if y'all want to see change, if you want to get the younger people, and it's not only about younger people, if you want to get the people who are committed to change and enlightened and woke, or whatever word you want to use, if you want to get them to vote, fear ain't gonna work for you. It ain't gonna work next time. It's education so that we can elevate, because we don't want to work forever, and we don't want to keep doing the same thing. All right, that's our time. You want to lead off with anything, T?
No, that's it. That's about it. We gave you guys some gems. We gave you guys something to shoot for if you want to early retire. You know what I'm saying? So we gave you a list. Also, we also gave you the mind. Told you how important the mindset is, right? So yeah, man, that's pretty much it. You guys enjoy your weekend and dive in that internet to see what you can do to make you some money.
Make sure the tongue in your mouth matches the tongue in your shoes. Yeah. All right. Until next time, we are the American Cream Show. You know, you can catch us on YouTube and the American Cream Podcast. You can also catch us here every week, same time, same place. Stay tuned. We got Mr. Henderson, the big kahuna, my pops, and the great legendary James T coming up next for the Understanding Money Show Part 2. And you already know they old school and they play by the old rules, and they're gonna drop it to you like you need to know it, give you some stuff to take home with you, put in your back and your front pocket. So stay tuned. All right, until next week, peace.